Okay, welcome back. So in this little chunk here, I'm going to show you how to write the click sequence, and I'm going to give you the framework. So what you see on the screen here should match what you have in your monthly packet. So there is a reason why we don't do this online. There's a reason why I have shipped you this thing in the mail, and that is I want you to totally focus on this. So if you do this exercise with me, you're going to knock out this email sequence right now while we are on this little lesson. So this is get her done time. Come on back, as we say at Harvard Medical School, which of course I'm a graduate, not, said nobody ever, I guess, except for actual Harvard Medical School graduates. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to actually go backwards in the slideshow because, oh, there we go. It wasn't even too backwards. Perfect. Okay, so what I'm going to share with you right now is the click sequence email framework. So you see where I've got like this number 1 here on the screen. Well, what I describe here in this number 1 segment is going to be corresponding to your number 1 segment on that little worksheet. So this is a sing along at home with Frank section and a key of A minor if you have your harmonicas with you. Okay, so the anatomy of a quick sequence email basically has 6 or 7, I have forgotten at this point, I think 6. Well, 6 or 7 components, we'll see here in a minute. The sole purpose of a click sequence email is to do what? It's to get the click, of course. That's all we're doing. We're just trying to say, here's something cool, check it out. We're not trying to sell anything. We're not trying to push an agenda. We're kind of like the reader's very friendly grandmother who says, you want some cookies? That's all we're doing, right? As Dean Jackson would say, this is 100% cheese, 0% whiskers. So it's very, very friendly, just, hey, you want something cool? So with that said, let's go through the components. All right, so thing number 1 is going to be the subject line right here. So the purpose of the subject line is to get the thing opened, right? So imagine this, okay? Let's say you have an email list and you double your open rate just by focusing on this one little chunk I'm about to walk you through. If you double your open rate and everything else remains constant, your click-throughs, your conversions, you've basically doubled your list without actually adding any new subscribers because you've doubled the results you've gotten from your list. So these 2 little things are very, very important. The first one is the subject line. Now notice in this one, I've got name, please read. When all else fails, be obnoxiously forthcoming about what you want them to do. This subject line has worked well for me a gazillion times. An alternative is name exclamation point with just their name. A third alternative is going to be RE name, please read. A fourth alternative would be important. A fifth alternative would be for the words for blanks. And that would be like if we're writing to consultants for consultants who want benefit, for consultants who want clients. All right, so those are 4 different alternatives. Now, why am I giving you these 4 different alternatives? Because in a click sequence, even though it looks like we've got 6 different emails, in reality, we have 6 emails that are the same. The only significant difference is going to be the first 2 elements, okay? So element number 1 is going to be the subject line. So in your 6 emails, you're really just changing the subject line and your first sentence, right? Everything else is going to stay the same, okay? So this is why this framework is important. So why are we just changing the subject line and the first sentence of these emails and leaving everything else the same? Well, if they're not clicking us, chances are they're not opening it, and the subject and first sentence are the things that actually get the email open. So let's look at the sentence that I've written here. Let me give you the psychology behind it, all right? So if we go here to the old handy-dandy whiteboard, you'll notice the goal of the first sentence is to get it open. What am I saying here? I'm saying I'm pretty sure this directly affects you. Notice I have the word this on the video here. The word this is in blue. That's because it's a hyperlink, all right? So if we go back here to the whiteboard, there we go. If we go back to the whiteboard, I say, I'm pretty sure this directly affects you. Now, if nothing else is going on down here, when the person gets this email in their email client, like Gmail, Yahoo, whatever, Mail for Mac, these 2 things are what they're going to see before they open the email. So the purpose of both of these elements, element number 1 and element number 2, is to get the email opened primarily, and then the secondary purpose of this is to get the click. That's why I have hyperlinked the word this. So the word this, in this case, would link to the educational video. So right now, we have our very first, very subtle call to action. Okay? Remember, what's the purpose of the email as a whole? Is simply to get clicked. All right? Now, if we just look at these two elements, we can leave everything else in here the same in every other email in the sequence and only change these two things for the rest of the emails, and we'll be gold. Because chances are, if they're not clicking, it's probably a result of their not opening it up, or it's a result of their simply not having time, right? So from the naked eye, if all we do is change these and we send 6 versions of this to your list, they're not going to think to themselves, gosh, it was the same email 6 times with just a different subject line and a different first sentence. Nope, because most of them aren't reading it. Not because they're not interested, because they got stuff going on, because they're on the internet. It's the attention deficit universe, right? There's actually a study published by Time Magazine, I put a link to it in your newsletter, that says the internet could very well cause ADD. Not in me, though. What do you guys want to do later? You want to ride our bikes? What's that? What'd you? Oh, right. Anyway, we're making a video. So, hey, that was a pretty good joke. See there? I'm hilarious. If you just drink more while you're watching this, I get funnier and better looking. Okay, so let's now talk about element number 3 in this framework. Okay, so first of all, hopefully, you have jotted down a couple of subject lines using this sort of ideology, and you've jotted down a couple of first sentences. Notice I'm not saying click here. I'm just saying I'm pretty sure this directly affects you. Right? Another one would be, I have just made this for you, and it shows you how to big benefit. It's another great first subject line. Right? Now, let's talk about the third element. Third element, in this case, is going to be an image, a graphical representation of the thing that you want them to click on. So if it's a video, take a screenshot of the video. In this case, I've just put a cover of my book here, only because that was the easiest image to insert in this keynote presentation for you, because it happened to be on my desktop. Right? So if you're sending them to a video, you want to take a screenshot of the video. Why? Because people click on images. The Bureau of Internet Statistics, compiled by the all-knowing they, clearly say, there's no such thing, by the way, but they say, and I believe this, a commonly held belief is that emails with clickable images in them get more clicks than emails without clickable images in them. Therefore, we should have an image that is clickable. So all this is going to be, element number 3, is just a graphical representation of the thing you want them to click on. In this case, if we're sending them to a video, a screenshot of the video, which can be a screen cam video. You don't need to be on camera, by the way. Most of mine actually are not. Okay, so element number 4. Now, have a look at this. All we've really done so far in this email is we've written a subject line and 1 sentence, and we have an image they can click on. There's 2 places now we can get the click, incidentally. What's the purpose of the email? To get the click. Okay, element number 4, is we're now going to explicitly ask for the click. So we say it's a new thing, in this case, it's a new video that shows you how to big benefit. So if you go back to the newsletter, if you look at your newsletter for this month, I give the example of we're selling a product that helps you peel tomatoes faster, and the video I'm sending people to is a video where I'm teaching them how to make gazpacho, right? Which is hard to spell. I had to spell check that on the Google to spell gazpacho correctly. Gazpacho is a cold tomato soup. It's actually pretty good when it's hot outside. So if I were doing it for the gazpacho video, I'd say it's a new video that walks you through how to make great gazpacho soup for the summer. Simple. And I would highlight and hyperlink the words new videos. And I might even hyperlink how to big benefit. In this case, how to make fresh gazpacho soup. I might even church it up a little bit if what I was saying was true by saying that shows you how to make fresh gazpacho soup in 10 minutes or less. I might even church it up a little more by saying shows you how to make fresh gazpacho soup in 10 minutes or less in parentheses with only 3 ingredients, right? All kinds of cool stuff you can do in the copy. Point being, we are going for the click here by hyperlinking here. Now, element number 5 is, even if we're giving them something for free, we still have to sell the click. And the way you sell the click is by describing to the reader the benefits they're going to receive by consuming your free educational content. So, it says, plus you'll also see, discover, learn, whatever it may be, whatever copy framework you want to use. And now we've just got some bullet points, right? So you'll notice the formulas. You can just literally copy this formula if you want to for your bullets. Number 1, how to benefit without bad. Now notice right here in this, I am hyperlinking the word benefit, right? So in the copy, I would say how to make gazpacho soup, right, in 10 minutes or less. And that would be, the words make gazpacho soup would be hyperlinked, so we're clickable in 10 minutes or less without spending a fortune on groceries, okay? Or whatever, I really don't know anything about gazpacho. I just love using tomato references because they're so generic, okay? Without bad. Your second one might be what never to do when you want to, and then goal. So in this case, what never to do when you're making gazpacho soup for the first time, or what never to do when you're making gazpacho soup for more than 2 people, or what never to do when you're making gazpacho soup in the summer, whatever it may be, right? There's probably a what never to do. So notice, in this case, if I said what never to do when you're making gazpacho soup in the summer, I would highlight making gazpacho soup and make that clickable. So if we just go from, well, actually I'll do the final bullet. The other formula is why everything you've learned about desire is dead wrong and what you should do instead, right? So this might say why everything you've learned about cooking with tomatoes is dead wrong and what you should do instead. Or what everything you've learned about picking fresh ingredients is wrong and what you should do instead. Or what everything you've learned about making gazpacho soup is wrong and what you should do instead. And of course, what you should do instead invokes curiosity, and therefore it's a very sticky, clicky phrase. So we would make this clickable. Okay? So if we look at this email, remember, what's the function of the email? What is this email's job? It is to get the click. If we look at this email, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 places they can click. And we've never been obnoxious. Click here, get it now, instant access, any of that kind of stuff. So we're being cool. It's like, hey man, we made this video for you, shows you how to make gazpacho soup. It's awesome. All right? So now, in step number 6.0, we're selling the click again with an actual call to action, which is you can get it here now. You might even want to be more blatant by saying click here to watch it now. In parentheses, it will play automatically. Or click here to watch it now. There are no hoops to jump through, no need to give your email address. It's my gift to you, smiley face. Whatever you want to do, we just close it up with a little direct call to action. Now that's 7 times we've told them to click, but we've done it subtly and friendlily. Is that a word? In a friendly fashion. Our final step here is the sign off and PS. The purpose of this is to resell the click. Okay? You want to resell that click. Because a lot of people, even though this is a short email, a lot of folks scroll down to the PS. I'm one of those people. All right? I admit it. I'm a PS scroller. My name is Frank Kern, and I'm a PS scroller. Hi, Frank. Okay, so what we do here is you simply say enjoy. Why would we say enjoy? Well, imagine your grandmother giving you cookies. Y'all want some cookies? Enjoy. That's it. That's how all grandmothers talk, by the way. Gosh, it's really not that far off, I suppose, or I'll be grandparent age. But for now, I can say they all talk like this and kind of still get away with it. All right, so anyway, you sign off, enjoy, Rick James, Esquire. Probably don't want to actually put that in your emails. All right, and then we're simply restating the benefits here. In case you skip to the PS like me, here's the deal. You can watch this new video that shows you how to make gazpacho soup free here, all right? And then you would highlight the words, watch this video, highlight the words, make gazpacho soup here. And you could even go on in the PS by saying there's nothing to opt in for, there are no hoops to jump through, just my gift to you on a hot summer day. Hope you like it. Let me know if you enjoyed it, right? Very, very simple. Very, very simple, okay? So here's the thing. If you want to crank out 6 of these, which you need 6 for the entire click sequence, everything under here is the same. These 2 lines are the only things that change, right? So I gave you the alternates, okay? So on your worksheet, which is, where's the worksheet? Oh, there it is. On your worksheet, which you have with you, just write out your alternates for thing 1 and 2, and then 3, of course, you're just going to list, like make a note of, okay, screenshot of video, or maybe you can even sketch it, whatever you want, right? But section 3 is where that image would go, and then everything else is going to be the same. So go ahead, fill this sucker out. Now, I know probably most people didn't actually do the worksheet while they were watching this, so now that you've watched it, go through it again, do the worksheet, because don't turn on the computer. Or you're probably on the computer now, but don't turn on the internet. Don't open up that browser, please. It'll kill you, right? It'll suck money out of your pocket faster than anything. So rewatch this little segment, fill out this sucker right here, and then don't do anything, because in our next video, I'm going to show you how to write phase 2 of this little campaign which is the click sequence. So I'll walk you through the click sequence framework next. That concludes this video. Do this worksheet before you progress. Do this worksheet before you progress. Do this worksheet before you progress. When you're done with the worksheet, I'll see you in the next video. We'll go through the click sequence framework, just as easy as this one. All right? See you there.